This is Pouring My Art Out for the Lord, and my name is Debbie. And I have a little sweet project for you here. I'm really looking forward to spring. I'm in Canada and we've had a really mild winter, but it's starting to get a little bit more wintry outside. So I thought I would bring a little bit of spring back into my craft room at least. If you stay till the end, I'll show you how you can get this particular project kit for free. So stay to the end and see what we're going to do. So there's 5 pages here. This one is a set of 10 tags, 10 different floral tags with an interesting background. And I printed one of the backing pages. There's several backing pages in this kit. This is a polka dot that has kind of a pinkish hue on it. And this one I printed on a little bit heavier cardstock. And then I have this one, which is just a beautiful lacy floral print. I printed that one on cardstock, a lightweight cardstock as well. And then on the back, I printed this. It's kind of a distressed polka dot. Again, in the kind of pinkish tones, but a little bit darker than this one. And then I have this one, which is another polka dot. And this one is kind of in the beige tones. So if you kind of look at them together that way or this way, they all kind of blend together nicely. I wanted to kind of have the backgrounds pretty neutral because the tags are kind of the star of the show on this one. So I'm just going to get these tags cut out and a couple of things ready, and I'll be right back and show you how to put this together. Okay, so I got all my tags cut out here, and I've inked around them. And got some upside down here. And I've punched a hole in the top of all of them. So I'll get them straightened out here. There we go. So I've inked around front and back. I've got the holes punched in the top. They're ready to go. If you wanted a sturdier tag, you could back these onto something. I decided to just leave it like this. These are a fair good weight. They're not the heaviest, but I think for this project they'll be great. Okay, so let's use our final sheet as some pockets. And you can use just this sheet. I'm going to show you how to just use this sheet. You could also print out another one of the backing sheets and make different pockets. You can configure this however you want. Maybe make it once, if you're a beginner especially, make it once like I'm showing you. And then, make another one with your own creativity and add whatever you would like for pockets. So what I'm going to do is, I know I have, my first panel is 3.5 inches. So I'm going to line this up at 3.5 inches on my cutter, but I'm going to back it off about 1/8 of an inch, so 1/2 of a quarter of an inch. So if you want the exact measurement, that will be 3 3/8. But basically it's just a little bit smaller than the distance between those two sides so that the folio will still close properly. So I'm just going to cut that strip. So that's my 3.5 inch strip. Then I'm going to cut a strip for my middle section, which is 4 inches. So again, I'm going to line this up at 4 inches. I'm going to back it off 1/8 of an inch, so that would be 3 7/8. And I'm going to cut that strip and put that to the side. And then the final one, I'm going to do the same as the first one because our panel is 3.5 inches. So I'm going to do 3.5, back it off 1/8 of an inch, and I end up with this, which should be 3/8 of an inch because we backed off all of these 1/8 of an inch. So I guess I actually need this again. So I'm going to put the second 2 pieces to the side for a minute, and I'm going to work on the first. So I'm going to take my first panel and I'm going to cut it in half at 4 1/4 inches. So I have 2 identical pieces now. And then I'm just going to make a couple of pencil marks. I'm going to make them on the back. So there's a long side and a short side. Along the long side, I want to make a mark that is 1 inch up from 1 inch up from the left-hand side bottom, and then I want to make a mark that is 1 inch down from the upper right. So I've got a mark there and there. And the other one I want to do the opposite way. So I want to do one with the upper left on the top instead of the bottom, and I want to make this mark on the bottom instead of the top. I'm just using my grid lines on the mat here. So let me just connect these dots with a line so you can see what I'm doing. So I have one that way, and I have one this way. It kind of looks complicated, but it's really not. So now you'll have one with a line that way, one with a line this way. So these are all 1 inch. So 1 inch up, 1 inch down, 1 inch down, 1 inch up. So pretty easy. And then just cut along those lines. You can use your cutter or you could use a scissors. Since I've already drawn a line, I'll just use my scissors here. Okay, and I'll bring my folio back in here, make sure it's right side up. And then I want to put one of my pieces like that. Then I want to take one from this. You'll have two that are like this and two that are like this. These two came from the same cut, and then these came from the other cut. So I'm going to take one of these and one of these, and I'm going to put them together like that. And I just want this part to be hidden underneath that edge there. So just put it down. We're just roughly putting it in for now. But we just put it just so that it's below that edge. Then we take one from the first bunch again, tuck it in just so that it's hidden so the bottom doesn't show. And then take one from the second bunch and again stick it in just so it's not showing there. So then we just have, it's probably hard to see, I'm going to ink the edges in a second, but we have a little kind of crisscross pocket that moves up our folio like that. So maybe just so that we're not getting confused, I'm just going to ink these quickly and then I'll glue them on and then we'll work on the next panel after that. I inked up all of my edges and let me just glue these on here. So you can do it a couple different ways. I need to be able to tuck things under here. So if I glue this down these three sides, which I want to do, when I go to put this in, I need to be able to tuck that in. So I'm just going to glue the very bottom here first. You can measure it and then start at the top pocket, and that's what a lot of people do, but you have to kind of get everything really precise and lined up before you make your marks, and I just find it easier like this. So there's just the bottom. Now another thing you can do is if you want to glue the bottom of this pocket, then this pocket will not go all the way down. See, if I just glue it on the two sides, this tag will go all the way to the bottom and the ones at the top will go all the way to the bottom. Because these tags are shorter, I want to glue the bottom of each one of these series of pockets. So I'm going to glue the second one, and then I'm just going to fit that in from side to side and make sure this corner on the right is hidden underneath the bottom pocket. Okay, so now I have this one glued and this one glued just at the bottom there. And then I want to take, this is the hardest pocket. The other ones are going to be easier. I probably should have ended with this one, but then we take this one, make sure it's the right one. We know that this is not the right one because that goes the same direction. I mean, you could do that as well. You know, make another little pattern in that way, so you kind of criss and then a cross and then a criss, whatever. That looks kind of cool too, but I'm going to do it my original way. So I take the piece and just glue the bottom, thin bead of glue, and then kind of pull this up and tuck it in just so, see how that is still showing the backing there? I want that hidden, so I put it just down enough so that it's hidden there. Try not to contact your glue onto the backing until you get it in the right spot. Otherwise, you're going to get glue in the middle of your pocket and your tags are not going to fit in very well. And then we have our last one. We'll just dry fit that, make sure that works okay. Then we want to glue just the bottom. And again, just stick that in just so the bottom here disappears. Line it up on the edges. And there we go. So then if you want to just wait for your glue just to dry for a couple of seconds so that, you know, when you're peeling these things back, you're not pulling things off. That probably would be a good idea. So I'm just going to leave that for a minute. And then in the middle section, I have my little bit wider piece. That is 4 inches minus 1/8 of an inch. And I'm just going to take that and cut it into 3 sections. So I'm just going to cross cut this into 2.5 inches. So 2.5, 2.5, and 2.5. So I'll have 3 pieces that are 2.5 by almost 4. And we're not going to use this for now. Then I'm just going to stack those 3 up. I'm going to make a mark just in the center there so that I can cut a thumb notch out without, so I can cut a thumb notch right in the center. So I just made a mark in the center of all 3 of the top page of all 3 of the pockets together like that. And then I'm just going to punch a thumb notch in all 3 at once. If you don't have a punch like that, you can just do that by hand or not worry about it altogether. Now we have 3 pockets that we're going to stack up like this. And these ones are straight pockets instead of the diagonal pockets. So I'm just going to quickly ink these ones up. So I've got my 3 pockets inked up, and we could do this the same way. Just glue it in the bottom, tuck it in, just glue it in the bottom, tuck it in. But these ones are a little bit not as fidgety maybe as those ones, so I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to put glue on all 3 sides here. This one you have to work a little bit quickly when you put them in place. So I've got glue on 3 sides there, and I'm just going to press that into place. Just kind of lining up the bottom where I want it. And don't really press the top yet. And then I put glue on my second piece. If you have extremely fast drying glue, this might not work as well. And then you want to tuck this one in so that this backing is not showing in the notch there. Line it up from side to side so that they're similar. And then you can press on this bottom one and the top and the bottom part, the whole bottom pocket, and then the bottom part of the second pocket. Leave this a little bit kind of open. And then quickly do your third pocket. There's different ways that people do these pockets. If this doesn't make sense to you or doesn't work for you, you know, you can try one of the other ways. So I just pick that up a little bit. Make sure it's lined up from side to side. I want to make sure that I can put my tag in there. It'll stick up a tiny bit, but that's okay. That actually has a nice look. So there I have my 3 pockets stacked in the center. And each one only goes as deep as the bottom of the pocket. You can also stack them for another application and just glue these sides and this one bottom, and then the top one you can put in a long tag all the way down. But because we have shorter tags, we don't have that. So I'm just going to fold this one back a little bit on itself and just glue these I don't know, it's easier for me to do if I'm not showing you, but just glue these little edges here that haven't been that we didn't glue the first time. So we're just gluing up to there and then gluing under here, right up to there. And then we'll glue all of those edges on. And then just do the same thing on the other side. And if you don't get all of the edges exactly glued on the side, it really doesn't matter, because there's enough overlap and stuff here that nothing is going to fall out the side. You just kind of lift up and go until you get to the top there, and press all of those on, and then that side is done as well. And don't try to put your tags in until everything is dry, because if you put your tags in and leave them in, they can get some glue on them and then they'll get stuck in your pockets. So there is that side. Now we have one more side to go. We're going to do a little different again, just giving you some different options. You don't have to make it exactly like mine, but it gives you some ways to make some new pockets if you haven't tried these before. So I'm just going to take out my final strip here, and I'm going to cut it at 2 inches, just straight across at 2 inches, just like that, and just put that aside for a minute. And then with the remaining piece, just put it up on your pocket so you know where you want to make your marks. And I want to make a mark that's 2 1/4 inches up on this side. Because this is 2 inches, I want it slightly more than that. So I'm going to do 2 1/4 inches up. So I'm just going to line that up on my grid, just approximately, doesn't have to be exact. And then I want it to be 1 inch in from this right top side. So I'm going to just do 1 inch in from that top side. I probably should have done this on the back, but if you do it on the back, you have to do it in reverse, and then you kind of have a chance of mixing it up. So then I'm going to connect those 2 dots. I'm just going to do a fine pencil line because this is on the front this time. So there's my pencil line. So I'm just going to cut right there. And that we can just put aside. This will be a pocket right there. And this will be a pocket right here. So on this one, I'm just going to line it up on my grid and just mark the middle. However you want to do the middle, you can just pinch it or whatever. You don't even have to, you just eyeball it. And then I'm going to take my oval punch. You can use a circle punch. You can just do it by hand, or you can just not do it at all. I give myself a little thumb notch. I'm just going to quickly ink these. Okay, so then I'm going to glue these pockets on. So I'm going to glue the tall one on first, and I'm going to do it on this short straight side here along the bottom, and then all the way up this long side here. So here, here, and here. And just press that on. And then this one I'm just going to glue right on top. So I'm just going to glue on 3 sides here. 2 short sides in the bottom. And I'm just going to glue that on there. And then our pockets are finished. So then we can get our tags out, and we've got 10 tags. And you can put some little ribbon through the top, little ties, you know, various different things. So you can put a tag there, put a tag there, put a tag there. Put them. I have a little bit of, feels like there's a little bit of a resistance in this one. If you have a little bit of a resistance, it could be that you got a tiny bit of glue. So just take a little pokey thing and just kind of go across and just make sure that it's open. So then we can put these in like that. And then you can put 3 tags here. And that one can stick up. You can put a tag there, and you can put a couple on this part. Make this one just stick up a little bit. So there you go. Simple little project. You can decorate the pockets however you like. I'll show you a finished version of what I did to decorate the final part afterwards. And then it just folds up like this. You can also do some pockets or different things on the outside, but I just wanted to keep this really simple. I'll maybe just do, I'll decorate it up the way I'm going to do it, and I'll just do a little final flip through for you in a second. But there is your project. So here is my semi-final trifold. I'll probably add a little bit to it yet. I just made a little closure using a piece of elastic, and I just tied a button onto the end of the elastic, and it just goes around the folio like that. It just gives a super quick and easy little closure. And then I took some of my labels. I have a kit in my coffee shop. It's got 20 pages of labels, different sizes. These are some of the largest sizes. They're all faith labels. There's teeny tiny ones. There's all colors, sizes, different sayings, different faith sayings, different shapes. 20 pages of labels, and I use them for everything. This is just a fraction of them. I've used many out of there already. So I used one of the larger ones for the cover, and then I just decorated with a few of the little labels inside here as well. I tucked a couple in a little pocket here. And there's a couple more. Worthy, do you follow Jesus this close? If God is for you, who can be against you? I will walk by faith even when I cannot see. All my hope is in Jesus. Love this, blessed. And then these two are, this is Amazing Grace and Faith. It does not make things easier, it makes them possible. And then it's got the scripture reference from Luke there. Oh, and this one is created with a purpose. So lots and lots of things there. If you're interested in those, you can check that out. These are also in my shop. This is a butterfly jewels set, and this is a book hidden paper clip set. So I just had some bits and pieces left, but there's my finished folio, and it just folds in like that, and there's my closure. So I hope that you make one of these, or make a few. Send them to people for a little bit of a gift. It's just a nice cheery spring. It's got spring sentiments on all the tags. Beginnings, new life, reflection, hopeful, transform, brighter, new birth, refresh, renewal, and growing. So just a perfect little sweet gift for spring. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Blessings.